Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 32nd installment of Unfinished Business and the triumphant return of Twisted Tuesdays, baby. Fireworks going off in the background if you can't see it. Very excited. Kind of had withdrawals. I think my doctor's kind of concerned because there wasn't any twisted tea in my liver. So I think we needed to get this going because I think it was just health concerns were just too much to not to do it
You
in the
couldn't
best interest of everybody
you couldn't withhold any
in
longer. You
production
needed it.
team, the editors, the staff, the security. We're all concerned for my well-being. So I think it was in the best interest of everybody involved that it was Twisted Tuesdays need to make a return back.
Yeah, I think it was about time. Just too long of a wait. I know it's only been 2 weeks or so. Still too long.
No, what we've gotten through three
Three,
division, three,
three
so three
divisions.
weeks, almost a month without Twisted Tuesday.
Wow, that's huge. It's momentous.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
we
But
did have a little IG lives that people come on to sometimes.
yeah,
Appreciate
sorry, Don and Mike, you can't beef on this one.
it. Yeah, not today.
But any hockey fan knows Monday was the NHL Draft lottery to determine who Alexis Lafreniere would be going to for his at least first 3 years of his NHL career and possibly more. But it was probably the most highly anticipated NHL Draft lottery in probably recent memory because none
Yeah,
of the bottom feeder teams won the pick, which is ridiculous.
just makes no sense. Ruined the whole purpose
If
of
you
the
want our
draft.
opinion on that, circle through our episodes. You'll see our opinions on it because in a previous episode. But
For sure, we've mentioned it
all
before.
8 teams who lost in the qualifying round had an equal chance, 1 in 8 chance to win the NHL Draft lottery, and it was much different than what they usually do it. We had it live streamed, so if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see along with us that what they did on how they did this rather than having the cards flipped. They had like your usual lottery style, putting in balls. But we had another guest on because Malcolm was complaining we didn't have much guests on in the last couple of weeks. So my cousin, Ryan, hopped on, huge Leafs fan and an avid hockey lover as well. So he knows his sport really well. And there might have been a prediction in the analysis beforehand on who he thought who was going to win the draft lottery. And I don't know if it was true or not.
Before we get into that as well, I just love getting the invite to the podcast that I
Yeah,
host.
it's tough working when you have to work.
I told you, just send me it, and I was going to hop on the Zoom, but no.
Well,
Jason,
I found out
Jason, you missed
I
one.
found out after
All right.
we taped that he couldn't even see the feed. So
He
it was
couldn't?
just
Oh, really?
no. He's staring at a blank. He's staring at my face the whole time as I was watching it. But it's working for everyone watching on YouTube. It'll come on for everyone watching on YouTube. Obviously, in Spotify, you'll be able to hear along with Gary Bettman and the host from NHL Network on what was transpiring along. So without further ado, it's me and Ryan watching the NHL Draft Lottery. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Twisted Tuesday on Unfinished Business, presenting the podcast debut of, oh, look at that, it's Murchison, the cousin, Ryan Murchison, who's another big Leafs fan like myself. We are technically right about time for the NHL Draft Lottery to start. Are you excited or what?
I am very excited.
So before we start off, I'm sure every Leafs fan's wondering what happened in Game 5. I would love to hear your take on it.
In Game 5, oh
Yes.
boy, that was
I think
a tough one to watch.
you were kind of, to put it modestly, you were just a tad pissed off.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, it looks like we're ready to get started here at the draft lottery. So who would you like, other than the Leafs, obviously? Who do you want to see Lafreniere get to?
I'd like to see him go to the Rangers, to be honest. I'd like to see the Panarin and Mika maybe get a chance to play with him. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
What about you?
I don't want to see Pittsburgh. I don't want to see Edmonton.
Yeah,
I don't want to
too.
see Minnesota.
Don't want to see Minnesota? I
I
wouldn't.
don't want to see Minnesota. Like, if you're naming off NHL teams, you're not thinking of Minnesota.
That's true. They're just too irrelevant.
Exactly. It's just they don't really have anybody else to play with them either. But like,
Exactly.
Every team's got an even shot here, 1-8, and the Leafs get it because obviously everyone knows Patrick Marleau trade to Carolina, so they can only get the number 1 pick, and that's it. If
Yep.
it's not that, it's going to Carolina.
Yes,
But this
sir.
is rigged. Like, I don't see why they should be doing this anyway, because of how bad Detroit and Ottawa played this year, they should be definitely getting number 1 overall. But that's just me.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. So it's a little rigged, but
Well, it's going to be rigged if Toronto, Edmonton, or Pittsburgh win this thing.
probably.
Doesn't make any
Hopefully
sense.
it's the Leafs.
I know. But if they do you see Nylander leaving? I do. He's gone.
I don't see him leaving right away because we can keep whoever. Like, say we make the trade with Ottawa for pick 3 and 5, we could have maybe
Yeah.
Byfield and Drysdale for 3 years for practically nothing. So I say
Yeah.
after 3 years, then he's gone.
Yeah, that's the big rumor coming out today. If the Leafs land the number 1 overall pick, that Ottawa's got a deal in place with Toronto to get picks 3 and 5 to Leaf land for number 1 overall. I think that's stupid on Ottawa's part. So stupid.
Yeah, I don't know, but we'll see.
But like the Leafs need defense incredibly badly. So
Very
Jimmy
badly.
Drysdale would be a great compensation pick for Lafreniere. It's
Mhm.
not like we're low on scoring if you can't, but didn't show that the last 4-5 games they played.
I know.
But they're gonna have a tough time. I would love them to resign Tyson Barrie. Love them to do that. His contract, but he's probably gonna command up to $7 million.
Yeah, I don't
But your
know.
boy,
CC scored more goals than
DC sucks,
Marner in the
man.
playoffs, so
When you put it so
Marner
nice like
maybe.
that.
Yeah.
But
No,
you're
we're
big on
definitely
Marner,
not
though, aren't
resigning
you?
CC. I don't know. I'm on and off with Marner.
Yeah, us two are like the biggest Matthews fans on planet Earth. So how are you?
If the Leafs get rid of Matthews, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't
Hopping
know.
on
I don't
whoever's
think I like
bandwagon.
hockey anymore.
I'm hopping on whoever's bandwagon.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, I bought everything, Matt. Like I bought the Siakam jersey he was wearing in the game 4.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, why not? He's Matthews.
Perfect.
But I would love, obviously, Toronto would love to have Lafreniere on the team because it would just be like you have line 1, like they already do, but it's like line 1A and line 1B, Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Lafreniere.
Well, the power play would be quite nice.
Yeah, because it looked real good in the playoffs for us.
It did in game 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it looks like they got the cards here. Bear with us. We're not going to be much talking for the last couple of minutes, but here we go. Here's the balls. They're in. All 8. So I think they're just going to do it. They're just taking out of a thing.
Okay.
Can you see this or no?
I cannot see it.
Oh, so you're going to be listening to my commentary. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that lovely? So, yeah, they're just dropping the balls in like they normally would.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Oh, boy. I'm kind of nervous now.
Very nervous. Very nervous. A little shaking my head here, shaking my arms. But hopefully I can get this going here. Let's see. We can unmute. Okay. Can you hear that?
I don't know what I should be hearing.
Okay, perfect.
Hold on.
They're just dropping these into a ball, and I'm going to shake it up.
Okay.
So Minnesota's never had a number 1 overall pick.
Wow. Okay. Is that the only team in there that's never had a first overall pick?
Probably. Yeah, the highest pick was
that's it.
3rd, and it was Marian Gaborik.
Marian Gaborik.
So not bad.
Legend. Yeah.
The commissioner's just making sure these are the logos.
Okay.
Oh, Nashville's never owned the first overall pick either.
Ooh. Okay.
But they can use Lafreniere too because they don't have much goal scorers minus Arvidsson and Forsberg.
I know their forwards are lacking.
At least I still don't know the format. They're just going to pick number 1 overall and go back from there.
Yep.
I think that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. A ball is going to pop up, and that's what it's going to be. The number 1 overall pick. So this is as fair as it's going to be.
So
there'll be no rigging.
No rigging here.
Could you imagine Lafreniere and Capel?
Whew. Oh boy. I'm praying for Toronto here.
Yeah, arms are shaking, knees are weak. I can quote Eminem.
Yep.
I hate Bettman too. Okay, the Leafs ball is about to be dropped. I wouldn't. Oh, you're on your phone. I was going to say, don't look at your phone because this might not be as live as you want it to be.
Okay.
All the GMs are on Zoom right now.
All the GMs are on Zoom. Oh boy.
I'm about to wake up all of Burlington and Waterdown if the Leafs got this number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, I'd say so. Are we close to finding out here, or what's going on?
We are 2 balls away from them shaking up.
2 balls
Jets
away.
and the Oilers
Okay.
balls are left.
Whew.
2, 4, 6. No, this is the last ball.
Okay. So this is it, right?
This is it. Okay, they're about to get shaken up. Yeah, so this is the last. This is going to be what's just going to be 1 ball, and it's going to see who's number 1 overall.
Okay.
Here we
I'm
go.
ready.
They're shaked up. They're being shaked. They're in the bottom. Okay, so they're all getting messed around here. Who's it going to be?
Well, I'm nervous.
It's
You're
like
shaking
straight
your
out of
head.
1930 stuff here. So lottery balls. So 1 ball's going to shoot up, and it's going to be the winner.
Okay, I'm
I
ready.
keep my eye on the Leafs ball. Do the whole thing right now. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
It's shot up. Okay, here we go. The ball's up. It's the Rangers.
Rangers.
Rangers are going number 1
Okay.
overall.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
I'm not too upset with that. I called
Wow.
that. I told my friends that, and I called that. So.
So Toronto's pick is going to Carolina. There you have it.
Yep.
The New York
There it
Rangers are
is.
now number 1 overall.
Wow. That'll help them
And
nicely.
so New York's going to go number 2 last year, number 1 this year.
Yep, that's pretty solid. That's
But
pretty solid.
Ryan, thanks for coming on. Hopefully not the result we wanted to see as Leafs fans, but
Hmm. Thanks for
we'll
having me,
see how it
Jacob.
goes. It's going to
We'll
be
see
a
how it
pretty
goes.
sweet deal for Lafreniere in the Meadowlands. So
Hmm.
thanks for coming on, boss guy.
No problem. Thank you.
Once again, thanks a lot for Ryan to coming on the podcast. Kind of nervous for mine. I think he did a great job. Questioned the situation. Almost missed the draft lottery, but thanks to my stellar driving skills, should be a NASCAR, but how are you? We made it in time. So New York is now landed Lafreniere. I haven't had your take on it yet, so let's hear it.
Oh, I've just there's the whole conspiracy, right, with the drop ball and everything. People are like, oh, the ball is too heavy. Well, people just like poking fun, but I don't think it was rigged. The draft wasn't rigged. We got to see it live of the ball being picked up, and we don't really get to see that. You just see the cards usually, see who gets the first overall pick. So it was nice to see the ball getting picked and seeing Gary Bettman saying, that is them, confirmed. That is them, confirmed. That was just awesome to see. Thanks, Bettman, for doing that. But yeah, I think the Rangers are going to be loaded on the wing. Not only the wing, just be a loaded offense, but on the wing already, who they have some mentionable names are Buchnevich. They have Jesper Fast. They have no, they have, who was I thinking of? And Artemi Panarin. How can I forget him? Highest paid winger in the league. Capo Caco. So Chris Kreider. So when
Your
Lafreniere,
favorite?
yeah, I hate him so much, but obviously he's good. But when Lafreniere comes in, probably will stay. Like the Rangers will keep.
I would think. Yeah, I don't see why not.
I would see like the Rangers keeping their first overall pick, so they're gonna get him. I see him starting. Brian Burke said this too. Him starting on the second line would be perfect. and their team is just going to be so good. They're going to have that little rivalry with New Jersey, people are saying. And New
Yeah, a
Jersey,
little Hughes Lafreniere battle and one overall picks.
yeah, exactly. But they're sitting compared to like the lines that were going up against each other, and New York lines would just be way far more disgusting than those New Jersey lines. So it wouldn't be that much of a rivalry. Um, I was hoping, like you mentioned before to me, uh, that Toronto would get it because in that scenario, Ottawa, who's like my hometown team, would trade their third and five picks to get that number one overall pick to Toronto, which I totally would have seen happening. Totally, but
But
with
you would be happy with that if you were an Ottawa fan?
I would be happy getting Lafreniere.
Really?
Yes, 100%.
So you
It's
would ditch two top five picks for Lafreniere?
it's a win-win scenario. You get two top five picks, or you get Lafreniere, because your two top five picks can be
Wow.
Tim Stützle, Quentin Byfield, Marco Rossi,
Jamie
anyone.
Drysdale
Jimmy
was a
Drysdale,
Leafs severely needed defense.
obviously in there.
That's for another day.
That's for another day. But yeah, man, I don't know. Ottawa. I always want like when we talk about this year's draft, I talk about Ottawa a lot. But Ottawa could have done that, but obviously I don't think that's going to happen now. So it's good to see. And then we see the other teams also getting their picks in there. Obviously, Toronto not landing in the top 10, so they don't get to keep their pick, right? So they landed at 13th. So Carolina picks up that pick, even though they made it
What a
past
steal.
the playing round. So Carolina's pretty happy with that, making it out of the qualifiers and still landing a top 15 pick. Um, Pittsburgh. So Minnesota has the number ninth overall pick, right? But they also have the opportunity to get this year's 15th. But this is the condition with Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh has 7 days to decide whether or not to give their pick to Minnesota. If they choose to keep it, Minnesota receives Pittsburgh's next year's 2021 first round pick instead. So Pittsburgh gets to decide: do we want to keep this year's pick or do you want to keep next year's pick? And like you said, I feel like this year we'll have more depth in this draft class, and Pittsburgh will ultimately keep it. I thought I saw somewhere that they opted out and already gave the pick to Minnesota, but maybe I may be wrong. So we'll see, I guess. And that's only the 15th, so the last really lottery pick. But other than that, then we see the other teams who didn't make it through the qualifiers. So Edmonton at 14, Carolina, like we said, at 13, Florida at 12, Nashville at 11, and Winnipeg at number 10.
I think NHL is severely happy that New York got this pick because they're the most profitable NHL team
Yeah.
ever. Like right now, they're worth the most according to Forbes, and they're in the biggest hockey market in the U.S. in New York. So they got number 2 overall last year, and they got number 1 overall this year. Like obviously, you've named up a couple of the recent draft picks they got, but they also have some absolute studs in their system who haven't played a game for them yet. Like 2018 NHL draft, they have 2 first round defensemen and Keandre Miller and Niels Lundqvist, who are going to be in the league very soon. You picked up Nico Gross in the 4th round, who, to steal his last name, is going to be Gross. Elias Anderson was 7th overall in 2017. He's only played a handful of games. Philip Chytil, first round pick. He's going to be playing soon, I think. Like Sergei Zaborovsky hasn't played. He was drafted in 2015. Igor Shesterkin, you drafted in 2014. Who had a great end to the season. Kind of got thrown to the wolves in Game 3 because King Henrik couldn't steal a couple of goals off his chest for him. But I think New York's landed an absolute stud in Lafreniere. He's got to pick a new number at number 11 because that's obviously retired from Messier. But yeah, this could be a deadly combination for years, maybe decades to come with Lafreniere and Capo.
That's
1 and 2.
Capo was one of my favorite players getting drafted in last year's draft, and the fact that New York got them, and now they have to pick, right? Like there's no question about it that they're going to pick Lafreniere. Like it's crazy to think about. So like you said, it's going to be crazy for years to come. New York Rangers fans should be excited that their team is so young and they're so talented. Even with like Mika Zibanejad, like him scoring 40 goals last year. There's so many players on this team who are able to help him out as well. But some other news as well we heard from tonight. A big game went on, almost a double game, if I say so myself. Because
it was more than a double game. Almost
Was
triple
it
game.
almost a triple game because it went to 5 overtimes?
5 overtimes. I believe it was the fourth longest game in NHL history.
It was a long game, and there are a few records that were broken tonight. So we're talking obviously about Tampa Bay and Columbus, the first playoff game of the first round this year, and it started at 3 p.m. ended around like
9:30.
9:30 ish. So it was a long game. Obviously the next game, so Boston and the Islanders are playing, right? Got postponed.
Boston and Carolina.
Oh, Carolina. Oh, they're playing Carolina. That's gonna be good. That's a better series. My bad. That's pushed to tomorrow at 11 a.m. But the big things that came out of this were Tampa Bay had 88 shots on net. 88 shots and only scored 3 goals, which means Jonas Corposalo set a record for most shots against and most saves in a game all time ever. And that's just, in my opinion, I
Yes,
feel
if you bring it back to Game 5 for Toronto, he has stopped 115 of 118 shots.
come on now. Like this goaltender duo in Columbus has been very underrated all season, and now you see them working their magic in the playoffs. Obviously, that game for Merzlikins against the Leafs wasn't the best until the end. Like those last 4 minutes weren't the best. The rest of the game was pretty good, but Corposalo just tearing it up, and the whole game, Columbus deserved to win. We also have Seth Jones. What happened with Seth Jones last game?
Mm-hmm. Just to point out, like Columbus has played 4 games in 6 nights, and 3 of the 4 have been overtime games.
They must be so tired.
And to last till 5 overtimes, and Seth Jones longing over 65 minutes of ice time, which broke the record for longest amount of ice time being on the ice before the stat was recorded. So we don't know how long it is, but for the record, show that Seth Jones has the record right now.
Yeah.
And Corposalo breaking Kelly Rudy's record of most saves in a playoff game with 85. I think it's going to stand for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of trivia questions to take on some of these youngsters with in a couple of decades.
Yeah.
But you hear people talk about like, oh, I was there when, like you hear about these old games that came along, like 2000 Pittsburgh and Philadelphia with Keith Primo scoring in 5 overtimes. Like, oh, I remember where I was when that happened. The Dallas, I can't remember the other team's name, but Peter Sikora scoring in 5 overtimes. Oh, I remember Islanders, Dallas. I remember Peter Sikora scoring that goal. I think we're gonna remember where we were when this happened.
I wasn't even watching the game, but I was just keeping up with it, and everyone, my phone blowing up with film was saying, "Oh my gosh, like, I can't believe what's going on right now! Oh my gosh, 5 OTs, that's crazy." Seth Jones is better than Hedman.
I think it's safe to say I think Seth Jones is the best defenseman in the league.
Yeah,
Without a question.
Come
He
on,
slept
now.
on, and he was on that, like he was slept on the draft. He was slept on the draft. He fell all the way to 5th. He was supposed to be a top 2 pick. He was slept on, went to Nashville, got traded to Columbus for Johansson. I think he's still slept on because he's on Columbus, but this game I think is going to make a lot of people turn some heads. Same with Corposalo, because Corposalo I think is going to be a very rich man. Couple of seasons after an 85 save performance.
Come on now, like you don't hear about that, right? Like as a goalie, like you just love to hear another
like you could see
drive like that.
An 85, a goalie can make 85 saves in a week.
Yeah, you're averaging like you probably get like 25 shots a typical game, right? Like around
give or take.
Give or take like 20 to 25.
That's shots. A good median though.
85 shots in a game. I just couldn't imagine. If that was me, I'd let in all 80 shots. I'd be so tired. But obviously, today was Braden Point's day as he scored 2 goals and the 5th overtime. In the 5th overtime, he scored the winner. So he came out as the hero, but many still believe that Columbus deserves.
Yeah, there's a couple. There was Cam Atkinson had a breakaway.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, maybe it was a breakaway, maybe it wasn't. But Victor Hedman held him down pretty well, and there was no call. And this was when Tampa Bay was on a power play after Columbus shut the puck over the glass for too many minutes, or delay of game, excuse me. Mm-hmm. And there's no judgment call on that. If it's over, it's over.
He did. He did.
Should have been a penalty. Could have been a penalty shot. It should have been 2 minutes for mugging, as Brian Bourque so adequately put it. 2 minutes for mugging, it should have been. But they have to go play again tomorrow, in 2 days. Quick reset.
Quick reset. But
Unbelievable.
we do have some unbelievable news regarding the podcast, Jay, and I'd like you to.
As Columbus and Tampa Bay hit the reset, I think it's me and Malcolm's time to hit the reset. I think in order to grow our brand a bit more, get more exposure, I think it's time for a name change. We're still in the process of thinking about the name change, but I think it was me and Malcolm thought it was only fitting that we announced this on Twisted Tuesday because it's very near and dear to us, very near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
So when it's time for Fantasy Fridays and the weekly recap, there'll be a new logo, there'll be a new name, but it'll still be the same too. Hopping on the mic to bring the sports news. So hopefully we'll have a name by hopefully we'll have a name by Friday to bring it. So signing off for the last time on Unfinished Business, Jacob Murchison
and Money Comb.
This episode of Unfinished Business is presented by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
And it is everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.